Yeah. Yo. Welcome back to the White Dads Can't Jump podcast. In case you just jumped, that was your main man, Chad, putting down his water. There may be
Episode two.
The
Episode two.
He's pretty jacked
We've
up.
now surpassed what percent of podcasters don't make it to episode 2?
I think we're still like 80%, but are with us through episode 2. But we are going to be getting to the real numbers here very, very quickly. But first, let's talk about the weekend. I believe there was a big birthday that occurred.
Birthday party, right? My daughter turned 8. Ooh. So what else do you do when you turn 8? Family Fun Center.
Hey, of course. And you have to invite the whole school.
It seems that they all showed up, apparently. And the funny thing is, you say Family Fun Center, but I don't know if there's really family fun.
It's a bit of a misnomer, right?
Because, I did a good job, though. I got myself removed for about 25 minutes to come home to grab some extra cards to get some gaming in on my own. And by the time I got back, everything was kind of
chilled out,
doing what it needed to do, right? And then I did some putt-putt.
Okay.
Played some mini golf. And
all
then
right.
I kind of
so you're going
to out.
I thought you were going to call me out, but I'll just call myself out. So
no, I didn't want to do that.
Unfortunately, I was out of town. However, I got a text that said, your son, this is from my wife, your son just hit a golf ball into
I watched it all happen.
Into a windshield.
I took it out. Not only did it hit the windshield, but it landed in the wiper bay. So
right.
I jumped the fence.
Right.
Got the ball. So I watched the whole thing happen. Let me set this up for you.
Please.
It's mini golf. So the putt off, tee box, whatever it is. There's a giant ramp. So he hits it off the ramp onto a rock, ricochets it over the fence into the windshield. No damage. No damage.
So here's my response to the situation, because obviously my wife doesn't listen to the podcast. When she's
not a white dad.
No,
that can't jump.
She's out of the demo. So when she sends me the text that says your son just did that, what do you think my go-to response to that was?
Of course.
Yeah. Well, close. Mine was phone back in pocket.
Right. I've been down this road before.
I'm going to check back in with you in about 30 minutes and see how things are doing then.
Let that come down a little bit.
Right. There is nothing that I can add from 3 hours away that's going to be any beneficial to you. So
no, and if his reaction was great too, because there was none.
Okay.
In classic form.
Right. Yeah. He just rocked it. That's great. Well, So in one sense or another, the party was a smash. So that's wonderful.
So 3 hours away, where were you at? What were you doing?
I was, we are white dads who are teaching. And so I was doing FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America.
Washington.
That's right. Washington in the background there, Chad, for those of you playing the video game here. And so we went, we saw, and we did conquer. I will say that we've got 3 students going to nationals for FBLA for the marketing competition. They did great. So I want to give them
coaching, no doubt.
Not at all. Not at all. I take 0 credit. I want to give a shout out to those guys. They did a wonderful job. I'm very proud of them. So
we know you're watching or listening.
Yeah,
good work.
The whole FBLA team did a great job. Everybody learned a lot on this one. It was all of our first years, because naturally they came to me and said, hey, we want a business club. And I said, oh, okay. And, did a little click-clack research, and it's like, oh, we'll just start an FBLA chapter. Sure, great, let's do that.
Just like that.
Right.
Just like that.
150 steps later, boom,
right.
Here we are in business.
And how many of those steps did you know you were getting into?
Oh, the first 3 for sure.
Right.
Yeah. I was solid on those. After that, we were building the plane in the air.
From there.
That's right.
Yeah, but it's worked out. Yeah. Now you get to take that plane to California.
Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, Nationals is coming up here in June. We are taking the plane to California, so it's going to be a good time.
That's a good weekend.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So while we were out in the world celebrating birthdays and winning, What
Winning,
what was
always
going?
winning.
What else was going on in the world? Do you see anything?
You know, I got some good stuff that I wanted to talk about. So you get your take on
Okay,
here. First thing I wanted, kind of going off the teacher bandwidth here.
sure.
So teacher pay is always in the news,
Okay,
always in the news because teachers are
are
always
overpaid.
overpaid, underworked and overpaid. Right?
Yeah,
Is that the terminology we
Uh,
use for that?
yeah,
So we know that's pretty much where I wanted to go with this is the pay, the workload, because we know that in different parts of the country, you're going to get paid differently based on your experience. Obviously, cost of living can play a role in that, or taxes and whatnot.
yeah,
But here in Florida, we're one of the more lower paid
yeah.
salary scales in the country.
Yes.
So they're trying to rectify that. So I've been one because I came from another job. I'm a career switcher. So I've been teaching for about 10 years, but I worked in the insurance game for a while.
Right.
And to me, and I came in, and the first thing you hear from teachers is, oh man, we're underpaid. You know, we got to work so hard. But I came in and I thought, oh my God, this is like Disneyland every day.
Yeah.
I come in, I get to talk to kids all day. I don't have people yelling at me on the phone. Every 50 minutes, you get a new group of them. They come in, they do what you ask them to do. I was like, and I'm getting paid to do that? What?
Yeah.
What is going on here? So I know you're a career switcher as well. I don't, you have the same experience?
Yeah, absolutely. When they said, yeah, you can take the kids outside, that's when I knew that I had
Well,
arrived.
did they say that, or did we just start doing that?
Oh, you know what? I might have, Chat GPT is a little delusional sometimes. I might have hallucinated that part, but they haven't said no yet. So we're just going to roll with that. We're going to keep the good times going on that thing.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
but I mean, obviously the people are, I mean, if that's the only thing you know, I think that's what it comes down to is a lot of people, that's all they know.
Yeah.
That's been their career from college. So their expectations might have been a little different and their experiences are a little different. So they don't have the kind of the perspective to appreciate, because ultimately what's going to happen is you complain, you're a teacher, you go and you complain about your salary. What's the first thing that person who is not a teacher is going to say to you?
That you are making too much. That's all we
You
got.
get summers off.
You're at the budget.
You have all this time off.
Yeah. Right.
You work 8 months out of the year. So,
Come on.
I think
Right.
you can't, it's going to be difficult to overcome that in any type of salary negotiation because the rest of the world does work all the time.
They do that whole 12-month thing. Seems like a lot.
12 months. Because we get spring break, we got Christmas break, we got summer break, we got all the holidays in between. So, I mean,
all the breaks.
It's hard. I mean, you're fighting an uphill battle if your teacher is trying to get higher pay. Obviously, I mean, if you want to pay me more, I'll take it.
Right.
But I mean, I understood the situation I was getting myself into. So,
right.
I think that's kind of where that's at.
I do think that as teachers, there are, like any job, there's pros and cons. I think that we are in a pretty good spot where we are, and
for sure.
I'm loving it. I'm kind of like McDonald's on this thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of McDonald's, so who is, wait for this. Who is the most famous McDonald's eater alive today?
Oh, I mean, fish fillet or fillet of fish.
No. But who, okay, he eats.
Trump, right? That's his go-to.
Oh, no. I thought he was a Big Mac man.
I thought he was a fillet of fish.
Oh, okay. So here's what I know.
I mean, can you go wrong? Honestly, can you go
What I know is this week, Presidente was on Air Force One, and in this moment, he was consuming a Big Mac. And, and when you're on Air Force One, just savoring the moment, what would you discuss? Well, naturally, he goes into how his third term is going to be.
I did see the firestorm. It's funny because if you go on social media, and this is kind of one of the things I wanted to talk about too, is talking about the algorithm, because once you go on and you click something, you're going to be
down the rabbit
with
hole.
that.
Yeah.
And then depending on which article you click on, depending on the spin, you're just going to get blown into that. So I like to click on all the stuff just to see what everybody's saying and click on all the comments. And I know people were losing their minds on the third tier. And I think a lot of it's got to be shtick, I would assume. Because, we obviously have laws, and although some people would say we're not following those anymore either. So It's an interesting dialogue.
Yeah.
I wonder, sometimes I wonder if he's like, how can I upset people today? How can I poke the bear?
I think that he's got plenty of ammo on that. I think he wakes up and chooses from the menu of which choose your own adventure are we doing today.
Yeah.
So I think that he generally heads down that road. But I think that he needs to. I think what he really needs is to finish the Doge project and make America as great as it is, and then we can come back and have the conversation about the 22nd Amendment. Like, because to overcome that and to get that third term, he just needs 75% of the country. We know he's got 40%. Yeah. So we're just talking about 35 here, and if he gets that thing rolling and everybody becomes happy, I know it's a low probability, but I'm not saying it's off the table.
I don't know that we're ever in a position where any politician is going to get more than the 51, 52%.
That they need to sink it, vote. To sink the pot?
Well, I mean, just to get, I think we're just too fractured politically. Because, I mean, think back pre-social media.
Uh-huh.
Or we can even say pre-Trump. So pre-2016. I mean, a little bit in the Obama era because social media was starting to come around a little bit. But when did anyone from New Hampshire have a vested interest in the congressional seat race in Wisconsin?
Right.
Like suddenly everyone has an opinion. Everyone's concerned. Oh my gosh, we need to get that money. We need to get those efforts out into Texas so we can flip this seat. Like before, no one knew what the heck was going on. But now everything's become this national attention argument, and everyone's trying to get their side to be on the winning side. And then if you're on the winning side, what happens? Nobody wins anyway because nothing happens. Like, what differences there been in the last 100 days?
I have an answer to this. 4 years? There is a concerned American, okay?
All right.
Mr. Elon Musk was in Wisconsin this week. And
trying to buy an election if you read depend which news article you read.
But what was...
Or buying another election, I guess.
But, yeah, right. Not his first rodeo. But he was on a float. Do you know what he was throwing from the float?
I would assume cash.
Okay, I see how you get there. That's very logical for Elon.
It's like the Joker at the end of Batman, the first Batman movie. He's throwing cash into the crowd.
I think
with the Joker face on it. Did he have Elon Musk face on the dollar bill?
Possibly. So, because ironically, he was in Wisconsin throwing cheese at them. Now,
there you go. I did see the cheese hat. I did see the cheese hat now.
I would take your side of it and think, listen, they're in Wisconsin. They don't need any more cheese. But, everybody likes a little free cash. So maybe you could argue he headed the wrong direction with it. My key takeaway from that story was the fact that he absolutely, and there's video of this, pelted the guy in the head with the cheese. And what was his immediate response? I'm still voting for you, Elon.
Yeah. I mean,
he was all about it.
I love that he was on a float.
Yeah.
With a cheese head, throwing cheese.
Like it was Thanksgiving Day.
Wisconsinites. Is that what they're called? I don't know.
Yeah, as far as we know.
Wisconsinians? I don't know. That seems like many syllables.
Yeah, too many.
But you know what's crazy, too, is that this is over a Wisconsin Supreme Court seat.
Right, to try and get a more conservative justice in place.
So, I mean, what are we doing when we have the richest man in the world campaigning for a state-level Supreme Court case? It seems to me maybe the political system might be broken.
He's playing all the angles. And if you really want your blood to boil, here's something else that I saw. And I hope that you saw this too, because you'll know what it was. There is apparently a ridiculously hard video game that has 150 levels. And he not only reached the 150th level, but was able to absolutely blow through it and do a fast take. And he put it on X and showed, oh, by the way, I am cleaning up the federal government. I am running for Supreme Court justice in Wisconsin. And I just annihilated this impossible video game. Like, he had gamers up in arms. They're like, he must have had guys playing for him. And they didn't necessarily mean in the 150th level, but apparently there's a ton of grinding you got to do to get to that point.
No doubt.
Did you see this at all?
No, but I can imagine the backlash, because this is also where we've gotten that no matter who it is, if it's on the other side, you don't appreciate what they've done any longer.
Right. Yeah. No.
It's like you just take away all the positives that people have done,
Right.
and you minimize their existence to this idea or whatever that you don't like about them, and then you apply that across every avenue of life, as it seems. Because and look, Elon, obviously the guy's got some social concerns, social issues.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to be in a room with him hanging out. It might be a little awkward. He might bring the chainsaw out. You don't know what he's going to do.
He's a little bit of a wild card for sure.
But you can't deny. I mean, you don't become the richest person on earth on accident.
Yeah,
Like,
he's proving that he's not winging it. Like he's got something figured out.
You'll see people say, "Oh, he just stood on the shoulders of others," but I mean, like, you still have to get there.
Right.
I mean, why aren't you doing it?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's the inherent skill level that I think if we just appreciated those types of things, regardless of affiliation and whatnot, then...
And I think you're pinging on something big right there. Like, I have as most people do, have a huge degree of respect for self-made individuals. I mean, obviously there's usually somebody that, blazed a trail before you. Right. But he did not come from a wealthy background. He came from South Africa, came over, started PayPal with the quote unquote PayPal mafia. Some of who are in his administration now, and obviously grinded and figured it all out. And
this is over many years too. When was PayPal? I mean, that's
a couple decades ago at this point. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I read his autobiography. His biography. I think it was just Elon, some self-titled thing, and they talk about the fact that. Again, he's not just smart, he's cunning, and I think we all know that at this point.
Yeah.
During the '08 recession, as the markets are crashing and the credit markets are freezing, you can't get capital from anywhere.
Yeah.
Not even now. Elon wasn't Elon then, but he was obviously high profile. I couldn't
get credit to buy a mattress in 2008. No lie. I tried to buy a Tempur-Pedic mattress on credit, the store credit. They're like, no, can't get it. I had to pay cash. But carry on.
I think that when you meet Elon, you should share that story with him, because
I will. Yeah, it'll be great. He'll throw some cheese at me.
That was a parallel timeline to when he was. So I'm going to fudge the numbers here, but he walked away from selling PayPal with $80 to $100 million. And he had invested sort of a businessman's risk into Tesla and SpaceX to get those both up and going in sequence.
Yeah.
And when 2008 hit, the credit markets were frozen and they were within a pay period or two of being out of cash. Like they had burned themselves out of cash. And Elon literally took the remaining of his fortune, took himself down to zero, put it in the company bank account, and kept it going long enough to survive, obviously, and flourish into what he is today.
Yeah, I mean, you have to at least respect that.
No doubt.
And keep in mind, no one disliked him this much 5 years ago.
Right. Yeah, everyone...
When those donations were going the other way.
Right.
And Tesla was coming out, and we were going green, and everybody loved SpaceX, and we're going to Mars, and all that.
I think the only critical feedback I was hearing about that point is that maybe he had a unique take on baby names.
Yes, yeah, he did. Well, he's got it. He's had a lot of opportunities to try it out.
Well, I mean, he's trying to repopulate the Earth as one man. I mean,
yeah, that's right. He is a pro-natalist, as they would call that.
Absolutely. Now, I have heard the most recent, and I thought, and this sounded plausible to me. All these silly names that celebrities have that we make fun of, that they name their babies. That we make North, Northwest, Windy Breeze, Apple, A258, whatever they are. So it's all a ruse. The most recent theory is that it's a ruse to not tell the reporters and the general public that they really named him Steve Musk. Like, I don't owe you an answer as to what my kid's name is, so I'm just going to feed you a line here.
Yeah, I guess that
makes sense.
It makes sense. Yeah, because if you remember too, Michael Jackson obviously is a little more eccentric than others. If you remember him,
right. I get it.
Rest in peace.
Right.
But he used to have his kids wear masks,
right,
to conceal their identity.
Well, and then sometimes he went the other way. Famously, he held one of them off of a balcony.
Yeah,
Uh,
blanket. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, Blake. It was the name of that kid.
yeah.
Yeah. Again,
So there you go.
he was actually Steve, but we told
Right,
everybody he was a blanket. So
right.
right.
Yeah, yeah. That was not one of his brighter moments, but yeah. One of the other things, kind of going back to Elon and Doge, was another piece that I was going to bring up today, is that the most recent, I guess, thing on the chopping block he's going after is how Congress people enter Congress making $174,000 a year, but they somehow leave Congress worth $300 million. So they're
Some,
trying to sort out where all that money's coming from.
yeah.
So I did a little research and I was looking at the stock market gains of
Ah,
Congress compared to the stock market.
right.
So they are definitely hitting on a much higher win rate than the general populace.
You got
Some are hitting
numbers.
at like 50, 60%.
Woo.
Uh, yeah. Some hit, I mean, obviously it balances out, but I think on average it said they're hitting about like 10% higher. I mean, that's with all 500 of them,
So,
but some are hitting bigger than others.
are you
And
trying
it's
to?
a lot of like energy, mining, things that they might have some inside info on.
Are you trying to
So
imply that if you go to lunch with the CEOs of the S&P 500, that might impact your investing?
that, and when you're like, hey, we're going to ban offshore drilling, or
Hang
we're
on,
going to
before we do
reopen,
it, I gotta call my broker.
right, let me get on the horn.
Right.
Because Nancy Pelosi's husband, famously, he has a pretty good win rate on his portfolio. So
On his
might
portfolio,
be something to
yes,
that.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, not on his personal security team.
Yeah, there are some Indeed posts out right now for that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
But because you see, once that US aid went away, I'll be curious to see how much money the Congress people are making,
yeah,
because that was a huge chunk of money that was just
flowing.
going somewhere.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, we need to get
So
on that list.
big picture macro here. The most recent numbers that I heard was that we have a $1.9 trillion deficit. So let's round it up to two
Okay.
trillion. And what the broad strategy was, we were going to try and save $1 trillion. That's where Elon comes in, and we were going to
Yep.
try and generate another $1 trillion in revenue, which was a combination of the Treasury Secretary and some other cabinet members that were going to try and make some moves to make that happen.
Yeah. Sell
Um,
green cards or gold cards.
yeah,
That was one of
right.
them, the $5 million golden ticket.
Absolutely. Some golden tickets, some tariffs, things like that. And then I think that the smart money on Wall Street, Bait has kind of set a target somewhere in the 250 to $500 billion estimate as far as the impact of tariffs. Like they're saying, listen, you do all these tariffs, what are you actually going to bring in?
Yeah.
Wall Street is currently hedging it at about 250 to 500 million. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt and call it 500 million. So
Yeah.
then,
On the upside, I assume.
yeah, that's right. And
Okay.
so, but then you've got to generate some revenue for some other places, like you're selling green cards, doing that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
even if we fall short on the revenue side, I think it's becoming more transparent that Elon is successful in what he's doing, but in terms of cost reduction. But
Right.
ah,
The collateral damage, the political collateral
yeah,
damage is starting to get pretty heavy.
and I think that could be mitigated through some transparency. Like if we could get a
Yeah.
quarterly report that was not the back of the napkin, but the actual like this is what we did, this was the outcome, these are the savings. If
Right.
we could see that, then I think that would mitigate and continue to rise. In any event, no
Yeah.
matter how they get there, it will be a monumental feat. That again, it's been 20 years, and in fact more than that. It will be 30 years since Clinton, since
Yeah.
we've been able to balance the budget.
Yeah.
So
Now,
go ahead.
oh, I was going to say one department that's really taken to transparency is the Department of Defense,
How so?
because they're sending out war plans to journalists left and right nowadays. So They're not holding any cards too close to the vest.
Well,
They say, "Hey,
listen,
you know what we're gonna do tomorrow at 3:30? Don't be there."
you you expect me to know everybody on the Signal chat? I don't know all these people. And specifically, did you hear his quote? I don't know that loser.
Yeah, right. He's from a failing organization. He's from that's
right. So
from a failing news magazine.
That was straight out of How to Win Friends and Influence People, obviously. So
yeah, it was an interesting situation because obviously there's so many people on these text threads,
right?
Which someone had to add the guy.
Yeah, it had to happen,
and they're not releasing who it was, so it'll be interesting to see if any heads roll. But it seems that that's not going to be the case.
While that's an interesting story, I actually think that the context of that story is more interesting in that who they were attacking was the group of, dare I say, terrorists that were committing terroristic acts and blocking up one of the world's major travel channels.
Right.
So, unfortunately, the Brits came forward and said, our Navy can't handle it. Like, they literally don't have the right equipment to combat the type of attacks and defenses that they have. And so the U.S. was the best group for the job. And I think that is what we need to tell the world and the American people. Like, hey, okay, everybody saw the signal. But guess what?
That's not how the media works.
Do you know who didn't see it? The Sudanese. Because they don't have Signal, they don't have CNN, and they didn't see it coming. Like, don't worry about it, okay? Little flub bub on our part, no big deal.
Yeah, it was interesting because, you hear people upset at Trump, and, like, he's like a CEO of a company. He doesn't know what's going on the fifth floor until the fifth floor needs approval to do something. So, I mean,
absolutely.
Again, not trying to have the MAGA hat on, but you got to call it when you call it,
Absolutely.
It seems crazy with the faux outrage. Because, I mean, you look at people, it's like people are so angry. Like, it's taking over their lives.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the algorithm that we were talking about earlier. Like, you click on something, that's all you see. So if you look at the world's ending, America's falling apart, and that's all you read all day and that's all you consume, you're just going to wake up every day thinking the world's going to end. And I can't imagine going through life like that. It's got to be exhausting emotionally.
Well, I actually have someone who can justify their anger. This is a gentleman that is a surfer in Florida at Bathtub Beach, which is near Miami. He is having a wonderful Saturday out surfing, and unfortunately, he gets involved in a shark attack. Did you hear about this?
Oh boy. No, I did not.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And obviously, what makes this shark attack fairly unique is that 11 years ago on the same beach, he was taken down by a shark attack and had lost. He had lost.
Same guy?
He had lost a limb. And
oh my
God! Was back there. So
was it the same shark?
Well, it's my take.
He marked it on his calendar. He marked it on his calendar.
This shark's got a grudge longer than a soap opera villain.
And oh my gosh!
And it might be time to switch beaches, buddy. I mean, like, I don't know what to tell you.
Or days. What are you doing, man?
Or take up, chess while you still have the digits to do it. I mean, like, I think maybe.
Oh my gosh!
I understand.
We're laughing with him, not at him.
Absolutely. What are the odds?
You got to find the comedy in that.
Absolutely.
Holy smokes!
I would have to look it up. But again, actually, I don't, because I went to SeaWorld the other day and I saw the sharks. Your odds of getting bit by a shark are like winning the lottery, getting struck by lightning, and a couple of other things combined.
This guy needs to buy a ticket.
Well,
on that day next year. Right. Wait 11 years till that date.
Right. Do not get in the water. No.
Don't go back to the beach that day.
Yeah.
Because the immediate thought I had in my head was of the old Peter Pan cartoon where the crocodile's there waiting in the water for Captain Hook. Like, that's what I'm thinking about.
Tick.
Right. But it's just a shark waiting. And he's like, March 30th.
Our hearts go out to him and his family. So, Um,
Yeah.
but on the other side of Florida, you could not get into the Keys because of the brush fire, Chad.
Oh,
The Keys are now a VIP club.
it's been
Uh,
very dry.
yeah,
Very
yeah,
dry lately.
very
I haven't
dry.
mowed the grass in weeks.
How's it looking?
There's some weeds.
All right. Well,
They tend to they're drought resistant. Those suckers.
yeah, they are. That's for
I
sure.
don't know what's in them, but they are able to withstand.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, do you have a top five list for us tonight?
Oh my gosh, I got a top five today.
All
This
right.
top five. Now this is my top five
Okay.
that I put together. This is in no particular order, and I wanted to hit something that's very near and dear to our demographic,
Mm-hmm.
and that is 90s action movies.
Oh, okay.
All right, so again, this is in no particular order, and
Yeah.
I'll give a brief reason why I have chosen this movie. So the first one, Independence Day. Independence Day is the quintessential summer blockbuster movie. I remember this one has that nostalgia grip because it was the first movie I saw in the new cinema that they built in Erie, Pennsylvania, Tinseltown when
Okay.
it came out in '96.
Yeah.
And just the screen, the music, the sound, the explosions. Yeah, peak Will Smith, Big Willie weekend
You ready for
on a run of
my
hits.
ready for my experience?
Yes.
Okay. So my parents have been divorced for 2 years. My my
I don't know
mom
why I'm laughing.
my mom has been dating this guy for about a year. And all of a sudden it's time for him to meet me. Where do we
Okay.
go together?
The movies.
To see Independence
Oh
Day.
my god.
So I'm glad. And the guy was a good guy. The movie was a good movie. But as a 10-year-old, when your mom says, hey, here's Will or whatever his name was,
That Will, even better.
you two are going to the no, you two are going
Wait,
to
did
the
you go to
movies.
the movies just together?
Yeah,
Wait,
Yeah.
so your mom did go.
it was bonding time,
Oh my god.
right?
Did you bond over Bill Pullman's Independence Day speech?
I was trying to get through the movie.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I'd love more
Wow.
popcorn. Thank you.
That is an experience for sure.
Right.
Wow.
So
So is that, do you like the movie now or can you not watch it because of that?
I am fine with the movie. Fortunately, it is what we know it to be, which is an amazing classic movie. So I was able to laugh and have fun and,
Right.
watch them blast the aliens instead of strike up conversation with Will. So, yeah.
Wow.
Next
All right.
movie.
Well. All right. I don't know if I can top that one. All right.
Okay.
This one's a little deeper cut.
Uh-huh.
It's a little older, and I assume you've seen it. Demolition Man.
Yeah, it's not too deep of a cut for me, but I just never
With
ended up at the
Stallone?
same place at the same time. Yeah, no.
Stallone and Snipes. Wesley Snipes had the blonde hair.
Okay, that'll be my homework.
They get cryogenically frozen, and they get unfrozen in the future, and everything is this utopian society.
Okay.
Taco Bell is the only restaurant chain that survived.
Naturally.
They can't swear. There's like swearing penalties.
No shit. Okay.
Sandra Bullock.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Sandra Bullock. That was one of her first. That was her first pre-speed. That was her pre-speed
Oh.
kind of introduction to the world.
Okay.
But it's a good one. I highly recommend it. It's
Yeah.
good.
All right. Good.
All right. Next one. The Mummy.
Yeah. Classic.
Brendan Fraser.
Absolutely.
He had a resurgence lately, but that is a peak action adventure movie.
Yeah.
Hits all
Definitely.
the beats.
It hits all the beats and it's totally rewatchable.
Yeah, absolutely. I watch it all the time.
Yep.
Speaking of watching it all the time, and I just watched it last night actually because it's on constantly, is Twister.
Ah.
I love it.
Did you see the new
I
one?
love it. I did.
Okay. And?
Not as good. It's not as good. I mean, you can't. You have
Yeah.
Bill Paxton. You have Helen Hunt. You got limited CG, which helps movies out because obviously we're too CG.
They did take a little too far.
Movies today.
I'm perfectly
Yeah.
fine with the guy in the new Twister being the new It guy. I
Yeah,
think he
Glenn
does a good
Powell. I like
job.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked him in The Hitman. Have you seen that one?
Yes. Really good.
That's a good one. I
Yep.
liked him in that, and he was in Maverick, Top Gun Maverick.
You're right. Yeah, that only made $1
I
billion
don't,
in
I
theaters.
don't remember his call sign, but I liked him in that.
Okay.
He's good. He's in that Dodge Ram commercial. And then the last one,
Yep.
I left this one. I kept this to the end because I knew this one is near and dear to your heart. Do you know what it is?
The Rock.
90s act, The Rock.
Yes.
Welcome to The Rock. Like, if you have not seen The Rock, if you are listening to this and you have not seen The Rock,
That's your homework.
watch it today.
Yep.
Nick Cage, peak Nick Cage, Stanley Goodspeed,
Yep.
Sean Connery. They do an amphibian landing to break into Alcatraz
Right.
that's been taken hostage by paramilitary forces.
By
Holding
Ed Harris.
Harris, yes,
Yep.
holding chemical warheads pointed at San Francisco in order to get, I don't know, money. But no matter what, regardless of what it is,
Valor or something.
you have a car chase with a Ferrari and a Hummer through the streets of
Right.
San Francisco. I mean, that alone should
Yeah.
get you in the door. But yeah, The Rock. I knew that was one that you liked. And again, I don't know how you can watch that and not enjoy.
Yeah.
The
I
Rock.
did watch that with, post-divorce. I'm probably 3 years post-divorce now. I am watching that with the nanny,
Okay.
who
Just
is
the two of you?
apparently I'm not funding groups at the movies. So it's just her and I. She loves it. Desperate for me to watch it. We have it on VHS, if you'll remember that technology.
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
And so
I'm familiar.
we are watching it. This woman is not an inch under 6'3", not a pound under.
Like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, like just like a large woman. And she ends up moving to Montana because that's where she decided that literally her people were. And I don't disagree with her. I think it was a good choice.
Okay.
So I love Amy, but Amy and I sat and watched The Rock, and I felt safe sitting next to her watching The Rock. So it was a good moment for me.
Yeah, I went to the theater to see that. I had to be snuck in because I think it was rated R,
Oh,
and I was under
wasn't yeah
17 at the time.
For
so
sure.
I went with my brother and his friends, and they had to buy the ticket, and then I had to pretend like I was going to see, I don't know, The Lion King or whatever
right.
the kid version movie at that time was. But yeah, The Rock. Watch it.
Watch it. All right, and my homework is Demolition Man. All right, so I think we're going to tease the fact that we've got some pretty interesting guests coming up here in
Very
the next
excited. Very
upcoming
excited.
weeks. All right, we're not going to say anything quite yet, but definitely pay attention to the feeds because we will be leaking some teasers as we go along here.
Yeah,
And
very excited.
Chad, main man Chad, any other parting words here from the White Dads?
Just make sure that you subscribe if you're on YouTube.
Yep.
Give us a like. If you get your podcasts on Amazon, follow us there. Apple Music, Spotify, check us out.
Yep.
Make sure you don't miss those exciting episodes coming up.
All right.
And keep an eye out for the mini clips too that we put out
There
during
you
the
go.
week.
All right. We appreciate it. Be good.